Welcome to the first ever Horseys, sponsored by Horsemen Comics and Gaming. We are your hosts. This is the immortal Ronald Gary Davis Jr.
Don't forget the junior.
And I am the semi-literate Ryan Olavi O'Loughlin.
Welcome.
This is a simple evening. We're going to discuss the bright spots of 2017. Many would say this has been a down year for humanity as a whole.
Yeah, we lost a lot of good people this year.
They may be correct. So we're going to illuminate some of the better things that happen in nerd media this year. We're going to have 4 categories. We're going to start with our first one, comic books. What is our first award in the comic book category?
First one is the Marvel Book of the Year, Marvel Comics.
Marvel Book of the Year. All right. What is our first? And these are community nominated. Yeah. We had a poll out there on our Facebook. We had players and customers who gathered and threw out their opinion, and we took the top nominations for each award and put them together. Yep. So, what is our first book?
All right, the first book that we had nominated was Star Wars, Darth Vader.
And this is Volume 2.
Yes.
It has been rehashed since its initial run in 2015. This book has been great.
Yeah.
The origins of his red lightsaber, fighting, hunting various Jedi and fighting them. Right now he's fighting Joe Castanew.
Yeah.
The
librarian.
These are Anakin's first moments without Padme.
Right.
And how he's dealing with this.
He's real angry.
Yeah, and there's this transitional period where he's still Anakin, but he's in the armor.
Right.
But he's Vader. He's kind of doing that tug of war.
It out. Yeah.
Really great book.
Yeah.
All right, so what's our next one?
Next one up was Secret Empire, the big Marvel event.
The infamous Captain America becomes Hydra.
Yeah, hail Hydra.
The most one of the most loved and most hated.
Absolutely.
Some people just did not even give this book a chance.
No.
What's the premise? Steve Rogers is Hydra?
He's been Hydra this whole time?
No,
yeah.
No, I think I'm good. But from what I've heard from the people who read it, it's actually really great.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, this got people talking about Marvel Comics.
Yep, and Captain America as well. Yep.
And moving on to our third nomination.
Third entrance
is The Unworthy Thor.
Yeah.
So this is the story where Thor has lost Mjolnir. He is unworthy.
Right.
So he has to assume his role as a superhero without the aid of his greatest weapon. So you kind of see this in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool book. It was a short run, easy to pick up and read, and it's a standalone. It's really new take on Thor. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
All right.
So do we want to explain how these were voted on?
So they are community nominated, and then we had a shadowy council of mysterious figures,
very mysterious,
who voted on these, and they were elected within the ranks of Four Horsemen Comics.
There was a lot of fighting.
Yeah, there was there was blood,
rock paper scissors,
and some people lost some teeth. One guy, he brought a dart gun. It was bad. One guy brought lawn darts.
Scar.
Yeah, it was not good. All right, so we'll alternate. I'll do the drum roll. You do it. All right.
The winner for the Marvel Book of the Year is Star Wars Darth Vader.
Boom.
There he is.
Yeah.
Vader brings it home.
I love this book.
Yeah.
I could not have gone to a better Marvel book.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So moving on to our second award, what is that?
DC Book of the Year.
And I have just got to say, as much as Marvel is trashing DC in terms of movies,
DC is bringing it home in the comics world.
Yeah, which...
Oh, my gosh.
You may say that's where it counts more.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother discussion. DC has had a heck of a year, so let's talk about
doing amazing.
Just a handful of the good books that they've done. And the first one is The Button.
The Button.
Yeah, so this is the Batman Flash crossover that first gave us a hint that the Watchmen were coming back.
What is that button?
Yeah, the button looks familiar, doesn't it? So, spoiler alert, the Watchmen are back.
Yes, they are.
And this is the book where we first start learning about this. This was a huge seller. It's actually getting re-released as a hardcover, just this one issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, and our next one.
Next one is Metal.
Dark Knight's
Metal.
Yeah. This is DC's event for this fall and winter.
Yep.
And this is the most successful comic book event that they've done in...
They've done so... I mean, they had some different spin-offs of this, I guess,
So
idea, yeah.
essentially, Batman is ripped apart and made into all these various villains, and there's all these H.P. Lovecraftian horror things that are going on, and I don't want to get too much into the plot, but it's just a mega success.
Every one that I've read was just unreal. Awesome.
Well, they were all unreal because they are comic.
They are documentaries.
Might even say it was a miracle.
All right, the third book was Mr. Miracle. Speaking of miracles,
No,
check
that's
out this
Iron
guy.
Man.
That is not Iron Man.
Are you sure that's not Iron Man?
Pretty sure that's Mr. Miracle.
You sure Tony wasn't like, hey, tie me up?
We'll get into that.
All right. So, Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle, it has exploded recently. It has gained a new foothold. It's the newest series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has just...
It was a series back in the day.
Right.
And this is like the reboot.
Right. And they've done a very good job with the reboot. I have read the first few issues.
Mm-hmm.
Completely confused me, but I really like that about a book.
You like being confused.
I do. I live my life that way.
If you ever want to lead Ron into a dark alley, just throw some algebra formulas at him, and he'll follow you right
I'll
there.
Crumble like a house of cards.
All right, our fourth and final DC book, of course, is the Doomsday Clock.
Yep.
And this is just only the first issue has been released. This just came out recently, so it just barely qualifies under the 2017 guidelines.
Still a really, really good story.
One of the best-selling books of the year. The Watchmen are back, and that's one of the highest regarded comic books of all time.
Yeah. Everybody was afraid when they kind of hinted around they were going to bring the Watchmen into the DC universe. Mm-hmm. It was either going to work really, really well or be a disaster for everything involved.
Based on this first issue, it seems like it's going to go well.
Oh, it's going to go great.
Of course, they have plenty of time to punt it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just that cover with Manhattan
and
then Superman's like falling into pieces, like it's all the cogs.
Look at that.
Now,
all right.
Now I know this one was hard, but we picked. And
we did.
Drumroll. It has to be Dark Knight's Metal. Like,
ta-da! Yes.
Nothing has brought people. Nothing from DC Comics has brought people into the store in the past 3-4 years like Metal has.
Yeah.
It hasn't had people talking.
Everybody's
the way,
talking
like,
about
it's,
it. Yep.
I mean, obviously, Batman being at the center of it helps.
Yeah.
Because Batman.
Yeah, it's Batman.
But this book is just brought people to comics.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. And the covers are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I like the shinings. All right, so moving on to our next category, we have the Image Book of the Year.
Ooh, and of course, if we're talking about Image Comics, we have to start off with the first nomination, The Walking Dead.
Yep.
All right, so, and I want to reiterate this. We are talking about books. There will be spoilers.
Yes.
So watch out. Walking Dead has had a huge year in terms of the comics. After the time jump, when they defeated Negan, we've had another war with the Whisperers, who are the people who kill zombies and wear their skin so that they can walk around in zombie hordes undetected. Carl found his first love. Rick and Andrea are married, and then they kill Andrea in like the most crazy way.
It's been a rough year.
I poured into that book. Like, it was just like when Glenn died. It was rough.
How'd they kill Andrea?
Oh,
okay.
We only have so much time to
talk.
All right. and then most recently, their Negan. Yeah, Negan kind of helping them out and kind of reinventing himself, and they decide they're no longer going to imprison him, they're going to exile him, and Maggie follows him. In the most recent issue, there's that final confrontation between Maggie and Negan, which is just a moment in comics that I will never forget. You killed my husband.
Yeah. There's only one outcome there. There's only one.
See, you would think.
Only one acceptable.
You would think. But
I've got to read it. I have to read it.
This is the best year that Walking Dead has had, maybe since the first or second year.
Yeah.
It's been really great.
So what else do we have in this category? We have Saga. We also have Saga. This is probably going on 2 or 3 years now. It's going up there.
Issue 43.
Issue 43. So yeah, probably the 3rd or 4th year. I honestly read the first probably 6 or 7 issues of this, and then it sort of dropped off my radar. But it has made
It has one of the most for not Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
It has one of the most consistent fan bases and subscribers.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely the most subscribed to Image book after Walking Dead.
Right.
Like, people are always coming to get the new issue of Saga.
Yeah, and I like how it is off the wall. I mean, it's not your typical superhero fare. Yeah, I like.
I mean, that's just
that.
that's Image.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's their Image.
But bump.
All right, and our next book.
Next book is East of West. I don't know what else to say about East of West other than it's about the Four Horsemen. Wasn't it? Yeah.
Got me there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen, the bringing about the apocalypse,
come back.
and can you actually stop what has already started?
Yes.
And it's right there with Saga, of having this real devoted reader base.
Yeah.
There are people who are here every Wednesday when the new East of West comes
Give
out.
me my East of West.
Give me that. Give me that.
I need that.
I think Image is really good of doing that, like the comic book version of that Game of Thrones-esque,
Yeah.
like
The cliffhangers.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, I need more.
Yeah.
I'm here for my dose.
Yeah.
Or
Hook me
my injection.
Which happens to be our last entry into this category. Warren Ellis, I believe.
Yes.
I have not read any injections. Have you?
This is now.
This is an Alex book.
Yeah.
Think if you cross the metaphysical world with computing,
Right.
and something goes awry, who do you have to fix?
Ooh.
You know, do you fix the computers, or do you fix the metaphysical, or what happens if you only fix one side and not both?
Oh.
Exactly.
That's very Warren Ellis. Okay, yeah.
You're confused, right?
Yeah.
So
I
you're
love it.
You're like, I'm here.
I'm gonna read
I'm
it.
doing this.
I'm in.
All right. So drum roll.
Your drum roll. All right. Our winner of the Image Book of the Year is Saga.
We'll admit it was a toss-up between that and
Yeah.
Walking Dead, but Saga deserves some recognition, and spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about Walking Dead more throughout this entire thing.
A little bit.
So Saga definitely is worthy of some title,
Check it
and we
out.
think Image Book of the Year fits it.
Yep. All right, moving on. Our next category is Best Superhero Comic.
And we're starting off with some Japanese superheroes from my childhood. Well, originally Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
And then Americanized beyond belief.
Go Power Rangers.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He's the best ranger.
See, I always liked the Green Ranger.
Oh.
No? And then it was like the White Ranger. Then I got real confused. I don't know. Billy was always kind of cool. He was the nerd. Billy! He was like the nerd of the group. He was awesome.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
who do you think?
Zach.
Oh, Zach?
He has an axe.
Why is it? Oh, Zach.
He has an axe, and his helmet has tusks.
Yeah,
real.
it did.
So, if you're not aware, the Saban movie came out,
Yep.
and that made a resurgence in Power Ranger comics. And Boom has the Mighty Morphin title, and it's real
They
great.
did really well with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people read it, and we wanted to make sure the community, because these are community nominated, wanted to make sure that was included.
Yep. Next up, we have Old Man Logan.
So this is not the first run of Old Man Logan with the Hulk that you may be thinking of. There's actually 3 different runs of Old Man Logan, and this is the 3rd one.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one is the one that has gone the longest, is ongoing,
Right.
whereas the first 2 were events.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's still going, is still cool, and he's still old.
Old Man Logan, man. Can't kill that guy.
You can't. He's just, that's why we talked about this earlier. Hidden dying means nothing.
At the end of it, it's going to be cockroaches and Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be.
That's all it's going to be. All right, and of course, we have to recognize
Gotta
metal.
throw metal back in there.
is
Yep.
included. And also, from DC Comics.
Also, we have Mr. Miracle.
Yes.
Making another attempt.
Yes.
Another run at it.
Another.
All right, so our winner. Oh, wait.
Is that going to get old? Is the drum roll going to get old?
Not for me.
Okay.
I can do this all day long.
It's a miracle!
Mr. Miracle.
You won! This book, like,
It just seems like it came out of nowhere.
I was going to say left field.
It really did. It really did. We get a modest amount of these every week, and then we had an avalanche of people coming in. I've got to read this book. Got to read this book. Caleb actually gave this book to me. He's like, "You need to sit down and read this."
Aaron has tried to get me to
Yeah.
read it a few times, and I'm going to at some point.
Yeah,
but
it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Anything that can keep my attention, it's got to be good.
Who? What?
What?
Huh?
How'd I get here? Where am I at? Squirrel.
My name is Doug. So our next award is the best non-superhero comic. Now, we all love superheroes. We all love superhero comics.
Oh, yeah.
But comic books are bigger than just men in capes. And we wanted to have an award to recognize that. And our first nomination, he doesn't wear a cape.
Who nominated this?
But he does have a hat.
He does have a really cool
particularly iconic. It, of course, is Jughead.
Jughead.
But not just Jughead. Jughead, the Hunger. So, in the past year or two, the Archie franchise has completely reinvented himself. We had the zombie Archie book, the Predator Archie book.
They've killed Archie.
The Archie dies books, and then of course there's the whole Riverdale thing, which is Archie in name only.
They have done such a good job with this franchise, just kind of flipping everything around and
hey, we still want to be relevant.
Yeah.
And they still release traditional Archie comic books too. Yeah. If you still want that Happy Days-esque, you can get that. They still make it. It's not like they kicked it to the curb. Yep. But this is the Jughead book where he's a werewolf.
Yeah. And what's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing. Moving on, our next title, of course, Walking Dead. Probably the most infamous non-superhero comic book, and we just have to recognize it. Yep. And then from the realm of Star Wars,
Dr. Aphra.
I debate this because Aphra, she's really a superhero to me.
She does have goggles.
So
she doesn't have a cape, though.
If you're not familiar, Aphra is a Marvel Comics original Star Wars character. Yeah. She started off as an unwilling agent of Vader, and she was so popular that she got her own spin-off. And in this, she's an archaeologist that's also kind of a smuggler and kind of a bounty hunter. She's just like a general kind of rogue.
Yeah.
And she has this team of players. She has 2 murder bots. Yeah. Who
murder bots.
Triple Zero and
Dark C-3PO and R2-D2.
There is Triple Zero and BT, and they are essentially evil C-3PO and R2-D2. Yeah.
Do they have little goatees?
No. All they do is talk about murdering people. That's all they. Oh, BT, I just want to drain all of the blood from his body, and just how wonderful would it be to listen to his wailing? And then also Black Kirsten, who is a Wookiee bounty hunter with black fur, and he's like twice the size of Chewbacca, and he has scars all over his body, and he is just nightmare fuel. And she has this ragtag team of guys, and it's crazy. It's like the closest that Star Wars has gotten to, I want to say, like Indiana Jones meets Guardians of the Galaxy. It's
that's
nuts.
A real good definition.
No,
that really is.
It.
It's really good.
I love it. All right, and our next book.
Our next one is American Gods. It is a Neil Gaiman book. Also had a TV show. Came out just recently. I don't know that I have not seen it. This might be another Alex book.
Pretty good connection to the original novel, and it does give a lot of different visualization. When I read the original novel, the way I was visualizing things has been represented a little different, but it really brings the story to life, and it's nicely paced. It's not dragging it out. It keeps to the novel, but allows it to move quickly.
Yeah. Have you seen the show?
No, it's on Stars, and that's I don't have Stars of all things.
Yeah.
All right. So.
All right.
I'll go next on the drum roll.
No drum rolls? All right. Okay. All right. So
we're going to have to give this one to The Walking Dead.
Like
Walking Dead had hit a point where it's like they go to a community and it gets overrun, and they go to community and gets overrun.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, and Mr. Kirkman Sensei, he said, all right, this series, it needs to invent itself a bit. So they had the war, they had the time jump, and they're like, all right, let's actually start rebuilding civilization. And that's what they've done, and that's what the book's about. And it's kind of refreshed itself, and it has done an amazing job.
Yeah. Mr. Kirkman, if you'd like to come to our store to pick up your award,
if you want to do a signing,
that'd be great.
That'd be
come on.
Yeah, we'll get you a room at the Motel 6. Be great. All right, and then of course we're moving on to comic book of the year.
Comic book of the year?
Yes.
All right. All right, so our comic book of the year.
So our first title is Also, The Walking Dead because, like we said, Walking Dead's going to be all over this place. Definitely worthy of the recognition.
Yep.
And Star Wars.
Oh, Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Look
This
at that
book is
saber.
amazing.
Look at that.
And also Metal.
Yep. Metal, which we've talked about a lot tonight.
And
And Saga.
And not to beat a dead horse, but is there a book other than The Walking Dead that brings more people into the store?
No.
Yeah, probably
No,
not.
yeah.
Maybe Star Wars, but that's
Yeah.
but that's like 12 books.
Yeah, that's true. That's a little spread out.
All right, so that does it for comics. We're gonna move into category
Gaming.
numero dos.
Yep. We've got some gaming
Yes.
awards to give out.
And our first award is the Best Magic the Gathering Product of the Year.
Right.
What is our first one?
First one is Commander 2017.
Yes, we get new Commander decks every year.
Yep.
And this year they broke the mold. They'd always done 5, and they was always like, one of each color, or they did like a collection of colors. This is the first one they're like, okay, let's do 4, and let's not worry about what the color identities are. Let's do a dragon one, a vampire one,
kitty cat
a kitty cat one, and a wizard one. And
Go.
and it was great.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
And especially usually there's like 1 or 2 that are really bad and 1 or 2 that everybody wants to buy.
They were all good.
Yeah, they all sell really well. Like the vampire one sells a little better than the others, but they all sell.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yep.
And then Amonkhet.
Amonkhet. What can
The
you say
Egyptian
about
plane.
an Egyptian? Yeah.
Just so gorgeous.
Yes. The art was great. The idea was great. The fluff was awesome.
So even like you're not a Magic player.
I'm not a Magic
You know
player.
how to play Magic, but you're not a Magic
Ish.
player.
Ish.
But even the story for this one was so cool. We were even talking about it on the show about with Nicol Bolas coming and destroying the plane.
Nicol Bolas, let me
I
tell
think
you.
we talked about that on like 5 or 6 different episodes of This Week or for Horsemen.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big of a jerk he really was.
He's a big jerk.
He's a huge jerk. I love him.
Yeah. And then our next expansion is Ixalan. They like, all right, we're gonna do a dinosaurs and pirates.
Can we? Yeah, let's talk about that. I still think that the pirates kind of got robbed in our Ixalan.
Because dinosaurs.
Pirates.
Because dinosaurs.
Arr, pirates.
Arr, dinosaurs. They
We have
step
cannons.
on pirates.
We have cannons.
We have T-Rexes. Have you seen Jurassic World?
Have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, Jurassic
got
World was
Johnny
much
Depp.
better.
Ah,
It was.
moving on.
Okay. Are you a little unstable?
I'm very unstable.
So this is the silver bordered joke set, and they haven't done one of these in literally 10 years.
The lands are beautiful. The
lands
cards
are gorgeous.
I've only read a handful of
They're
cards.
so
They're
funny.
so funny.
Yeah, and
They're
it's
so creative.
We were a little iffy about how
Yeah.
it was going to sell.
Yeah.
And we were so wrong.
Yeah. We got as much as we could, guys. Honest.
But only one of these things has kind of semi-revitalized standard
Right. Right.
in our store.
Yep.
So we're going to have to give it to the
Ixalan.
dinosaurs.
And the pirates.
And the dinosaurs. But
Mostly the
especially the
pirates.
dinosaurs. Mostly the
pirates.
dinosaurs. All right, so our next award is the Best Pokemon TCG Product of the Year. And we're not going to lie to you. Ron and I, we're not going to be able to give you like a real description on each one of these.
Yep.
But our nominations are Shining
Legends.
Mhm.
Right.
the Sun and Moon base set,
Right. Burning Shadows. Alex is trying frantically to keep up. Click faster.
and Guardians Rising,
Guardians Rising.
which is also our winner.
Guardians Rising also won. It seems to be the set in the Sun and Moon run that has consistently been requested the most.
Or at
Burning
least has
Shadows-
the best card in it.
Right. Burning Shadows and Crimson Invasion both do really well. Guardians Rising outperforms them all.
By the way, Crimson Invasion's still in stock here for Horsemen.
Yep. Come get some.
Yes. All right, and moving on to Best Trading Card Game of the Year, we of course have the infamous,
Magic the Gathering.
yes,
The
with
Juggernaut.
the original logo.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Pokemon.
hmm
We've also got Dice Masters in the running.
And Star Wars Destiny.
Good game.
Yes.
It's a real good game.
But at least in our store,
Yeah.
only one of these games has really come up from the pits to establish itself as either the best or second best
Yeah.
It's game in this store, like in terms of like numbers of community, devotion of community,
Right.
showing up to events, being enthusiastic and buying.
Very, very involved. I mean, I have seen this community grow from humble beginnings to what it is today.
From Brian and Four Guys.
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to what it is
to
today.
a room full of people
It
every
has,
Friday.
It has to be Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. Congratulations, guys. You did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Moving on. Next category in gaming is best strategy game of the year.
And we're going to
Person
have
has-
to start with a board game that was created by the original man behind Magic.
Yep.
Richard Garfield. This is Smash Up. Smash Up itself is not originally from 2017, but has continued to release expansions throughout this year.
Right.
And is just a consistent good seller.
Yeah.
It was nominated by the community.
Have you guys played Smash Up?
No.
I have played a couple games, and it's real fun.
Well, that's dandy.
Next up, we have Scythe.
Which is this game is at the top of my
Look.
to-buy list.
Yeah. Because of this cover art, I actually went out and found the artist that did this cover art, and I downloaded like everything that he has out. His art's beautiful. The game's super heavy.
So it's like it's a strategy, like industrial age strategy game where they have mechs.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of got like a risk feel to it, but it also has resource management involved. Yeah. It's new. You should really check it out.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Give it a try. It is actually in, I think it's in like the top 10 Board Game Geek top 100 of like all time. So
wow.
Yes, definitely check it out. Next up, we have Guards of Atlantis. I know nothing about this game.
Neither do I. Was nominated by the community, and we didn't have any time to look it up. So
good guy.
There you go.
And the infamous Captain Sonar, where Jay Spears, I'm talking to you. We still haven't got to play our game of Captain Sonar yet.
So essentially, it's like a role play of battleships.
Yes.
Where you have like 4-person teams, and each person on the team, like they have a divider.
Yep.
And you have like a captain, and then you have other
radio
officer.
operator.
Yeah, they have roles, and the captain gives orders, and you work together as a team
Yeah.
to defeat the other guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's real time. You're giving, the captain's giving orders. The radio operator on the other side can hear those orders and can try to interpret. Hey, where is this ship going to go? Where do we shoot? It looks like it's a lot of fun. I've seen some videos of it. It plays great.
Right.
So.
And of course, because this is the game that Ron and I have been trying to play together the longest, and we really want to play it. We have to give this one to Captain
Sonar. You got best strategy game of the year.
So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So cool.
So Board Game Day is this Saturday coming up.
Yes.
Maybe
Board
we
game
can-
day all day.
Maybe we can get that game
Probably
going?
not. we will talk about it once or twice.
All right.
All right, moving on to best party
Party
game. So Cards Against Humanity doesn't have a lot of competitors.
Yeah.
But this year,
It does now.
there's a contender.
There's a couple contenders.
This is Joking Hazard. This is the party card game from the creators of the comic strip Cyanide and Happiness. And that's all.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. Instead of black and white cards, you have cartoon panels, and you're just trying to complete the little cartoon strip. It is so fun.
Yeah.
It is so fun. Yeah.
All right, so moving on, can you tell us a little bit about Secret Hitler?
I don't know anything about it. It's too much of a secret for me, apparently.
So you played
Very mysterious.
One Night Werewolf.
I have.
So this is essentially like the same thing,
Oh, okay.
but somebody's Hitler.
The secret Hitler.
So
Okay.
it's the game's like sort of like Resistance, where everybody is assigned a secret role, and in One Night Werewolf, somebody's a werewolf, and
Yeah.
you have to ask each other questions to figure out. Except somebody's Hitler.
That's really
And
cool.
then there's more rules to it, and there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
But this is one of the hottest selling party games of this year. We cannot keep it on a shelf. It's hard. It's honestly hard to just order it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah. And then,
Of course, we've got Cards Against Humanity.
which is not from 2017, but has released expansions throughout this year,
Yep.
including the Weed Pack.
It just came out a few weeks ago. The
Yeah.
Weed Pack. It's in a
It was
nice
a hot
little green
seller at
bag.
Steel City Con for us.
It was great.
And as Cards Against Humanity has developed the party game genre on its own.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it is the titan
Mm-hmm.
of this genre of gaming. It is our best selling game. It's the Batman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But Joking Hazard has come out of the gates so hard and fast.
Oh yeah.
We want to
It's Joking
Recognize
Hazard.
it.
You got it, Joke.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Congrats, Joking Hazard.
But going to Cards Against Humanity, did you hear what they did for their holiday promotion this year? So every year, Cards Against Humanity does something really cool for the holidays. One year, they started digging a hole, and that as long as people donated, they would keep digging the hole for no reason whatsoever. They also bought a castle where you could come in and you could be the king of this castle for so many minutes. This year,
They also bought a section
of an island.
a section of the border.
That
between
was
the United
this
States and
year.
Mexico.
They bought.
We're not going to get into that.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
move on.
Okay, all right.
Best miniature game of the year.
I thought that was best Minotaur game of the year.
We have to start off with Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got the new rules update for 8th edition this year. Has really revitalized the game, at least locally with us.
Yeah.
And definitely worthy of a
A
recognition.
lot of players.
And
WizKids HeroClix. Real good miniatures game. Really solid community. It's been around
Probably,
for a long time.
I would say, maybe second, probably only Magic is our most consistent player base.
Yep. Yeah. Also, we have X-Wing. Who doesn't like flying X-Wing ships?
TIE pilots.
Well, they're wrong. Actually, no. I'm all about the Empire. You give me a dark side ship anytime.
I'm all about the people who are racist, and I'm all about those bad guys.
The bad guys.
The people who kill innocent children.
They're not held down by morals or anything. Just do whatever.
I like the racist people who kill children. Oh God, I'm gonna run for office someday, and that video clip is just gonna haunt me.
You're done.
40K wins.
Yep. Unceremoniously, 40K. Your community's great.
The 8th edition rules just have brought a lot of people back to the game, and that happens with a lot of things. With maybe a game we're about to talk about.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But moving on to our Game of the Year award and wrapping up this category. This is the Game of the Year, and our first nomination is the Pokemon Trading Card Game, whose community
Very solid
has
community.
just knocked us out.
Yeah. Not Warhammer. That's
Yeah,
Shadow Legends.
It's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. Yeah. And then of course the ever consistent
Magic the Gathering.
You know, always our best seller.
Yeah.
Always have people for Friday Night Magic.
Keeps the lights on.
Yeah, it does. It's the sugar daddy.
The sugar daddy.
The sugar daddy of games.
Yes.
Magic.
Yep. Our next contender is D&D 5th edition. Dungeons & Dragons. Very large community currently.
So, 4th edition had reigned for years,
Mhm.
and we finally got that rules update for 5th edition. It has brought so many people.
Many groups, we've had so many groups spring up.
Wizards of the Coast released its earnings statements for 2017, and 2017 is the best year that Dungeons and Dragons has done ever.
I can totally agree with that.
And like 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then also we got to recognize 40K here.
Yep.
But I think our definite winner has got to be
D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Yeah.
They brought it home.
They really did.
We see our Clarksburg store. They see 50 to 70 people every Wednesday playing D&D, and we have 2 or 3 groups running our shop.
Yeah,
all the time.
We do really well, but not quite that well.
Yeah. All right. So next category, television.
Yes. Television.
All right. First category in the television.
Yes. Our
category.
first award.
Oh yeah.
Sci-Fi Show of the Year.
Yep.
And we got
There were some
the Netflix
tense
hit,
moments.
the Netflix hit.
Yes.
Which I find to be an odd thing. Or
Could be Stranger.
Could be Stranger. Tell us a little bit about
Stranger
Stranger Things. Yeah.
Stranger Things. If you have not watched the show, you really need to watch it. You haven't seen it?
Not yet.
None. Oh man.
I've got a watch list like.
Yeah. Stranger Things. It's set back in the 80s. I don't want to give too much away about it, but the
All right.
show.
So, spoiler alert: Stranger Things is in almost all of these categories.
Right.
We're not going to talk a lot about it. Just know that it is the show to watch from this year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And moving on to you don't get a new Star Trek show every
Very
year.
often. Yeah.
So we definitely have to recognize Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
And it has kind of, in the spirit of the J.J. Abrams movies, has kind of reinvented what Trek could be.
Yep.
To the joy and chagrin of some.
You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
As always.
And
Speaking of
something
loving or hating.
that's not Trek, but is so Trek.
If you like squint at it, it's kind of Trek.
It's the Orville, man. You remember, like
Those
you and Alex and I
engines kill me.
watched the trailer for this, and we're like, oh, this is gonna
yeah.
be a great comedy.
Yeah.
And it's so
much
not.
more.
It's so
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. I don't even know how to describe it.
It is like initially what I was saying is if they took Star Trek: The Next Generation and Galaxy Quest,
mashed them
together with a little bit of that Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane humor, like that's what the Orville is.
Yeah.
But it's even like that was towards the beginning of it. Yeah. I think it's even more than that. Like it is deep.
It hits on some topics that I think other shows would even shy away from.
The one with the baby.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm really surprised that they addressed all that. I mean, I was hats off, Orville. You guys are doing a great job.
And of course, one of the strongest nerd franchises of all time, Doctor Who, still airing after like 60 years.
It started in the
60s
or
something like
1963.
That is a long.
The same
run.
year that the Beatles hit the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh my gosh!
It aired the same day Kennedy was killed.
Oh wow!
And it got tanked because of that. And
Yeah.
they convinced them to air it like 3 days later, and that's when everybody watched it because they needed an escape
From everything
the Kennedy
else.
assassination.
So John,
that's interesting.
Thanks.
Sorry, by the
He
way.
took one for the team.
Oh wow!
It's been like
Yeah,
I think it's
still
fine.
not too soon.
Oh, Kennedy was a great man.
Didn't they just release a bunch of files on that too?
Yeah. No, that's another thing.
Is
All
that
right,
a
so
category?
so most talked about show this year in terms of sci- it has to be
Discovery.
the old STD.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody.
Don't call it that.
Everybody has the STD.
Star Trek
Everybody's
Discovery.
got the subscription. Like, I know they had to name it after the ship, but how did that like never come up in like a pitch?
Somewhere the guy in the marketing is going, "Oh God, what have we done?"
Wait, sorry, Michael.
All
right.
This show's great though.
It really is good.
Yep.
So we're gonna
Fantasy
do this
show?
one real quick. Fantasy show of the year. We only had 2 nominations. One is Game of Thrones. One is not Game of Thrones. It's Dragon Ball Super. Which is significant for its own reasons. Yeah. But it's really no contest here.
It really isn't. If you've lived on this planet for the last couple of years, you know what Game of Thrones is. Even if you don't watch it, you are aware of it. If you're watching it, 2 more years, right, guys? Come on. I cannot wait for I guess the final season. This is it. They're out past the books right now, and the show is off the rails, guys. If you're not watching it.
Yeah. So GOT for the WIN.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to an award I'm a little more excited about. Comic Book Show of the Year.
Yeah.
And we got to start with The Gifted. There are so many. There's like over 10 superhero shows.
There's so many things going on right now.
Yeah, and this one has stood out for a few reasons. One, Bryan Singer is actually involved with the show. Right. And nobody can put X-Men on the screen like
Bryan
him.
Singer. Yep.
But this one there's no X-Men in it.
Right.
This is in a reality where the X-Men are gone. This is a story about 2 teenagers who get their powers, and their parents. This is where the United States is persecuting and jailing mutants.
Right.
And the dad is actually a prosecuting attorney who has sent mutants to jail. And he has to turn on a dime in episode 1 when he finds out his kids have powers.
Yeah.
And the authorities are after them.
Yep.
And he just
it makes
drops
a difference. Yep.
everything and like, all right, well, we're like rogues now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
get in
Get
the
the car.
van, break your cell phones, let's go. And they join the Mutant Underground, and like this show has just blown me away.
I've watched like the first couple of these, and it's at the top of my watch list. If I can ever get back to it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And speaking of things reinventing itself,
Riverdale.
Yeah,
Riverdale.
like this is Archie in name only.
I wanted to see this show so bad because it sounds like it is so different. But yeah, like you said, it's only sharing the name Archie.
But it's one of the most successful shows on TV right now, and it has revitalized the franchise along with all the other comics we talked about, and it has people interested in Archie that never would have read.
Never would have. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Look how in the sign it just says die. Did you pick up on that?
I did not.
Ooh.
I'm gonna be frank. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at this image. All right. So Happy.
Next up, Happy. Happy is a comic book adaptation. The book was out 2 years ago, around 2 years ago. Alex has been on me to read this book since it came out. He's a huge fan of it, and I still have yet to read it or see the show for that matter. He's very angry right now. You want to talk about it?
It is one of the first time a non-pay level channel has decided to completely go fully uncensored. 10 o'clock, Sci-Fi drops the F-bomb. There's nudity. There's unbelievable violence. There's sex. There's everything. It is so over the top that you truly seem to be watching a comic book, and it is just unbelievably twisted. Grant Morrison was given free reign and no limitations, and he truly took advantage of it. And he's actually part of the writers and the producers of the TV show as well.
Awesome. All right, so check out Happy.
Yeah. And then we also have the DC Comics television classic, The Flash. The Flash
has been phenomenal. This is one of the few shows that I've actually been able to try to keep up with. I haven't seen like the last half of the last season, but the rest of it, I was never really a Flash fan. Absolutely love this character now.
Yeah, he's not as bad as Aquaman, but he never had. But with my generation, wasn't a Flash generation,
right?
Until the show.
Yeah, well, but the character went through Flashpoint, which really brought him into the forefront
Flashpoint,
of everything.
Yeah. But if you pull somebody off the street, and ask them what is the Flash,
they're gonna look through this show.
Yeah, if you pull somebody out of a comic book store, they're gonna say Flashpoint. But you're right.
Yep.
All right, so
show of the year.
Well, I would have to say that the show was a gift. A gift from Mr. Singer.
Thank you, Mr. Singer. Please come to Four Horsemen.
Do a signing. Be great. We'll bring our DVDs. Sign my X-Men.
Sign
with
anything.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, if you want to come.
Join, do a signing.
Come on out.
We'll get you. We'll go to the Microtel for Hugh.
Hugh.
No Motel 6 for you, buddy.
Free continental breakfast. On the hotel, not us.
All right. So our next award is the Horror Show of the Year.
I'm afraid of this one.
And there was some debate about what genre Stranger Things falls into, but we are going to include it in this category.
It had some very scary moments.
Oh, yeah. And then we're also going to include The Walking Dead here.
Walking Dead is in here?
The highest, most viewed cable television show of all time.
Yeah.
So it has to be included.
Yep.
Next, we have Slasher, which is a new show. I don't know a lot about, but does that image...
That looks great.
Does that not make you want to watch this?
I don't know what this is, but I gotta watch it now.
But here, we're gonna do this one differently. Our winner is actually our 4th nomination.
Right.
Ron, why don't you take it away? Because you're the fan of this show.
I'm the fan. American Horror Story. I have been a fan of this show since it first came out. But to be honest, I have not seen the very last season with the clowns and the election stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this show consistently, I love how they use the same characters in different settings, different names. It's just a really good show. I like it a lot.
You should watch it. Wonderful.
It is wonderful. All right. So, coming up next, we have a best show exclusive to an online streaming service.
So something that's only on Netflix or Hulu or CBS All
Some kind of a
Access
streaming thing. Yep.
So we're gonna have to throw
Stranger Things one more time.
Yes. And also Star Trek Discovery.
Yep.
And then we haven't talked about the show yet. Exclusive to Hulu is The Runaways. Yes, it was a Marvel show. So this one is kind of reminding me of, how nobody knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Yeah.
And then they made a movie about it. And it's like, oh my God, Guardians!
Everybody's like, yes.
Now that hasn't happened with Runaways yet.
It's coming.
But it's coming.
Yeah, everybody. Once people realize that this was a comic before it was a show,
This is a Marvel franchise that's been around for a long, long time, but has never taken off.
Yeah.
But now has a show because you can put the Marvel name on it, and people say, "Oh, it's Marvel."
Oh, Marvel.
It's Marvel.
Marvel, you say?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Our 4th nomination.
4th nomination is Dark. This is actually a German film with complete subtitles, and it's dubbed over. That does not detract from this show whatsoever. It is a fantastic movie. If you are into time travel kind of shows, watch this. Generally, time travel shows, they kind of tiptoe around, what happens if we change? No, they full on mess with everything. Future, past, present. It's all just thrown in a blender and hit frappe.
Yes.
It's great. So our winner, though?
How many times have we said this show?
Lots.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
This is where we have chosen to recognize
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things has been a phenomenon that has kind of taken the streaming service Netflix by storm. Is that your best 11? That's pretty good. She's the bald chick.
7 of 9 in this?
No.
No.
Just 11.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
So, television show of the year.
All right. So TV show.
So we have Silicon Valley, which was nominated by the Community.
All right.
And then also Arrow,
Arrow.
which was nominated by the Community. But we're not even going to tiptoe around this one. When the show that we talk about most
Yeah.
here at Four Horsemen Comedy's Game. Hey, did you watch the new Orville?
Yes.
Like, oh my, and how unexpected was that?
Yeah. Yeah. The Orville, I honestly thought, after watching the first one, I'm like, all right, people are going to get bored with this. It's just going to fall by the wayside. It's already got a second season.
The pilot is by far the worst episode.
It really was. And
it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the tragedy.
But when
people aren't going to watch
episode 2 was that whole allusion to the cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then episode 3 was the one about the baby.
Yep.
And then you have the Rob Lowe episode and the It
Lowe.
episode.
I haven't said Rob Lowe
and,
once
oh
yet.
my gosh. And then the season finale. Like I was
Kelly.
already worshiping Kelly. Oh my gosh. This show has just blown me away. And I would not have thought, like, almost 20 years into Seth MacFarlane's career, and and you would think, like, to me, this is the best thing he's done.
Yeah.
And
above Family Guy, above
Fam-
everything else.
But like, and I really like Ted. Ted's really funny.
That's real good.
But wow.
Yeah. Good job.
And I would not classify it as a comedy. Well, I mean, it is a comedy, but it's not primarily a comedy.
Right.
And so to say that somebody who's known exclusively for comedy has jumped into sci-fi that dances with being a comedy.
Yeah.
It's and drama
And
too.
they balance the drama and the comedy so well.
Yeah,
they really do.
It's really crazy.
Do we have a fourth? We do have a fourth.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Another fantastic TV show.
But Orville wins.
Wait, they're both highlighted. Does that mean we have a tie?
No, Orville
No,
wins.
Orville wins? All right.
wins.
Sorry, Game of Thrones. You had my vote.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our final category, which is the big one.
Movies.
This is,
We watch a lot of movies.
We're nerds.
Yeah.
Like, we love comic books. We love games. We watch a lot of TV shows. But the first, and if it had to be the only media for me, would be movies.
Movies. Yep.
So we have saved it for last. And our first award is the best science fiction film of 2017. And we have to talk about Blade Runner 2049.
I'm still confused. I didn't see that. I love this movie.
thinking about this movie for 3 months.
I'm still confused. This needs to come out on DVD so I can watch it like 80 times.
Can you not get the digital yet?
Probably.
I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
could.
I think you can.
I'm
I think they
gonna
released it
check
before
tonight.
Christmas.
I need to get that then.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie, but I still had so many more questions than what was answered.
And then this is going to be our Stranger Things of the movie category, and because I know we had some spoilers for some of the other stuff we talked about, but this is only 2 weeks old in theaters, so we're not going to talk a lot about it.
Yep.
We're not going to say any of the spoilers.
Other than it's awesome.
It is very, very polarizing.
Yes.
So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about details on The Last Jedi, but it is in the running for best science fiction film of 2017. But here's our third nomination that I really want to take the time to recognize. War for the Planet of the Apes. Wow.
Completely surprised me. I thought, it's going to be another monkey movie.
Now, when we said we were talking about the Wookiee from Afra earlier, and I said he was nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
What I was actually talking about was Woody Harrelson in this movie. I still get shivers thinking about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, wow.
This movie did such a good job balancing like the CG with the real
You
actors
could
and the
like
story.
you
Oh, the
knew it
story.
wasn't real.
Yeah.
But you couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
And I don't say that about computer graphic imagery in movies like ever.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Generally, there's always that 1% difference. That's kind of fake.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
This was beautiful.
It looked great. Everything Andy Serkis does.
Oh yeah.
I mean, from Gollum to Caesar
Gollum.
to Snoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like this guy,
He's really good.
I know.
He's the motion capture king.
But there's one movie that stood up as a science fiction film.
All right.
Because I'm going to say, I have this argument with people all the time. If you made me put one genre label on Star Wars, I would say it's fantasy, not science fiction.
I'd give you that.
It is fantasy in a science fiction setting.
Right. Right.
So we're going to give this one to Blade Runner.
Yeah. Blade Runner. I am happy with Blade Runner beating out Star Wars.
As a
if
science
Star Wars
fiction.
couldn't win, it has to be Blade Runner.
Okay. There was debate.
Blade Runner needs to win everything, or not Blade Runner. Star Wars needs to win everything.
So best horror film of the year.
Blade Runner.
Yep.
We definitely have to recognize Stephen King's It.
Oh.
I can't talk about this movie without yelling and screaming.
From the opening scene, I was so stressed out during this movie. The whole time, it just really. I'm not even afraid of clowns, but when he tracks the kid into the
Okay,
gunner,
so I gotta tell this story real quick, and we're running over. Like, my babysitter's gonna be so pissed at me. But so you all know, like, the iconic scene is Pennywise grabbing Georgie at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting next to him, and I've already seen it, but I've read the book and seen the miniseries anyway, so I know it's coming. And as like that scene is coming, I'm sitting right next to him, and as soon as Pennywise grabs Georgie, I go like that. He jumps.
I almost had a heart attack.
3 feet in his seat. It is like one of the greatest moments I've ever had in a theater, and it was just the best.
Unrelated. Sorry, Carmike, for the wet seat. I did not mean that.
Urine everywhere. Let the urine floweth. We had a couple other movies that were nominated by the community. We had a Tragedy
Girls. I have not seen this one.
I don't know, but that poster.
That looks great.
I'm curious.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
And then we also had Get Out. We had this described for us before the show.
Yep.
And we can't tell you what it's about because it.
It sounds really creepy. It really does.
So we're gonna go with the more tame film, the one about the clown that murders children.
Oh yeah, that's so tame.
Yeah, this was a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Now usually horror movies are not blockbusters,
right?
But this one sold out seats like you would not believe. Yep. And even though, because I'm such a huge fan of this particular story, but the novel and the miniseries, and I have a lot of conflicting things about. I definitely agree. It has to be recognized here for what it is.
Now, I will say that generally, as soon as horror movies play the kid card and they involve a kid and kill, I'm immediately turned off by the movie, and I can't stand it. But this one held my attention and scared the pants off of me.
Same, yeah.
Yep. So.
All right, so moving on, the best comic book movie of the year. We originally titled this as adaptation of a comic book, but none of these movies are like adaptations of a particular comic book. Yeah. They are all comic book movies inspired by comic book characters and stories.
Yep. All right.
And the first one, finally, DC,
Wonder
you
Woman.
did it!
You did it.
Wonder Woman.
Yes. Well done.
I just gotta
do
get
more of that.
God, Wonder Woman, you did it.
Is that Linda Carter?
Linda Carter, yeah. Like, nice. Wow, this movie. We got to see it early.
We did.
We went to a press viewing. We saw it 3 days early.
It was fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, they did everything right in this movie, unlike every previous DC movie ever.
There's some debate there, but
yeah, Justice League they did okay with Justice League, but Wonder Woman set the bar really, really high.
I wouldn't say Justice League is the second best one. All right, Wonder Woman is great. Moving on. All
right,
Thor Ragnarok. Have you found a single person that can speak negatively of
nobody
this movie?
has disliked this movie.
Because Marvel just knew, all right, we need to just make this as fun as possible. Yep. We need to have the buddy action comedy.
It's like Lethal Weapon on a different planet.
But here's the cool thing. But it's multiple pairs. Like it's buddy action comedy of Thor and Loki and Thor and Hulk.
Yep.
But then you also get this huge cast of awesome characters, including Hela, Valkyrie, the Executioner, Carl Urban's character. Yeah. Plus you get all the Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum's character.
And the Rock guy. Like, I was rolling. The scene with Doctor Strange was amazing. Yeah. Like, just this whole thing.
The whole movie did really
truly
well.
This was the roller coaster movie of 2017.
Yeah. It was really good.
It was a ride. Speaking of movies that are a ride,
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 soundtrack was great. The story was pretty darn good.
I think I laughed more throughout this movie than any other movie this year.
Yeah, generally...
I don't think I ever stopped laughing.
Yep. I'm always afraid of sequels, but this one I think did just as well, if not better, than the first one.
Generally speaking, this one is funnier, not quite as well written.
Right.
The story in the first one was a little better, but it was still good.
Yeah.
I loved Guardians. It was great.
Yeah.
But,
I look forward to that, with them weaving that into Infinity. Yeah.
But so our final one, you and I are both big X-Men fans, and particularly Wolverine.
Yeah.
And this was the Wolverine movie we have wanted for years.
Yeah, they did.
And we finally got
it justice
with Logan.
Yep.
So
I can't even talk about it.
Can we just let Logan win?
I think Logan's probably going to win.
Let's just let Logan win.
Yep.
All right, let's have 5 seconds for Logan.
What was it? There was a scene in one of the previous movies where the woman predicted his death. Have you heard about
the
this?
Wolverine? Yeah.
Yeah, and they said he's going to die with.
And then that's how he dies in Logan.
With his heart in his hands.
Yeah, and that's how it happened. Yeah.
Oh God! I'm going to need 5 more seconds.
If you haven't seen Logan, you need to see Logan.
Go see Logan. It's not like the one where he's ripping out of the Hulk's stomach or anything.
No.
But it's pretty darn good.
Patrick Stewart.
Oh, Patrick Stewart. Well, they kept having to drug him.
The first time Patrick Stewart said the F word, my life was set on fire.
Yeah, I was complete at that moment.
I was like, oh, Patrick. Sir Patrick. Oh. All right, we have to move on. We will just talk about Logan forever. All right, best adaptation of a novel. We only have 2 in this one. Murder on the Orient Express. I think this movie has the best cast.
The cast was
of
great.
2017. Kenneth Branagh, so he is traditionally a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
But my generation knows him from Harry Potter.
Yep.
And then also the director of Thor.
Yeah.
And now he's playing Perot and just nails it.
Yeah.
And then it's not just him. You have Daisy Ridley and Johnny Depp, and you could literally just go on and on and on. This cast is huge and is amazing.
Every time they brought a new character, I'm like, wait, that's and that's and it just
Penelope
kept going.
Cruz and Willem Dafoe, and just goes on and on.
It
and
must
on.
have cost $1 billion to make this movie.
Truly cost $1 billion. I cannot wait. I'm going to be buying this the first day it's available on digital.
Yep.
Love it. And then also It.
It, also a very good book. I did not read it.
So
probably never will.
We didn't have a lot of debate on this one. As a movie, it was amazing.
Yes.
As an adaptation,
not so much
of the novel. But that's a hard thing to say because
not really fair.
That novel is not really cut out for film.
Yeah.
But we're giving this one to Murder on the Orient
Murder on the Orient Express. Yep.
All right, on to our final award.
Film of the Year.
Film of the Year. Our first nomination.
There's about to be fights. I can feel it coming.
Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
You either loved it or you hated it. And you better have loved it. Have you seen it? It's a pretty good movie.
Our next nomination, Wonder Woman. And then, of course,
we've got Blade
Runner 2049.
Yep.
And Logan. Now, we're just going to ask Alex to go to a black screen here. There were negotiations.
Yes. Aggressive negotiations.
Those negotiations were short. But there were some concessions made for from earlier awards.
There was some, yes.
But we managed to get the most important award and the most important category for the most important movie of the decade. I mean the year. It has to be, and it only could be, not Logan,
not Blade Runner, not Wonder Woman,
Star Wars, The Last Jedi. And Ron and I could go on. And we could talk about this movie for 34 minutes, and I could lose the babysitter that I have forever.
I think you may have already. I hope she's watching. You're in so much trouble.
Yeah, I am. But
Last Jedi. For me, from my perspective, this was a darn near perfect Star Wars movie. It had comedy. It had the serious stuff. It explained a lot. It asked a lot more questions.
So I would say that even if you hate this movie, I think you have to acknowledge that this will be the most talked about movie of 2017.
Yep.
So it deserves recognition
for that. At least.
For that. Their articles and videos and conversations and podcasts and forever
and memes.
This movie will be talking
so many memes.
So many memes.
Kylo Ren.
Swallow Ren is the swollen one. I can't. All right. So we're going to end this on a high note.
Oh, Star Wars.
Thank you, Ryan Johnson. I have been saying Rian Johnson for.
Rian?
It's
No,
actually
Ryan.
it's Ryan.
It's Ryan.
I didn't know that.
It's just spelled really weird.
It is
R-I-A-N.
Who
Yeah.
does that? Like,
Rian.
even like. So we're gonna have to wrap up.
Yep.
The
Thanks to
first
everybody
ever
who
2017 Horseys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys for voting for your favorite stuff for the nominations. This could not happen without you guys.
Yes, and we're hoping to come back in 2018 with a bigger and better show. This was kind of a dry run. Unfortunately, we have to wait 365 days to do this again. But next year we're gonna get to talk about Avengers: Infinity War.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about Han Solo.
Han Solo's gonna win everything.
We're gonna.
I'm calling my shot right now. Alex, you quit shaking your head. Han Solo every time, unless there's a Blade Runner 2050.
No, it's
gonna be Han
not.
Solo.
There's lots of stuff we're gonna be talking about next year. The new Fantastic Beasts. We didn't even talk about Fantastic Beasts.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Nah, it was all right. As a Harry Potter movie goes.
I mean, it was good, but all right. We were supposed to end this on a high note.
Yeah. Good job.
All right.
All right.
So I will just say, may the Force be with you.
Always.
See you in 2018.
It's like in a week and a half.
No, it's in like 4 days.
It's a week and a half.
5 days.